This is the multiverse, a portal to infinite alternative realities. And this is me. So here's the plan. First, I will remove the End Island, and then I'll build the portal with 10 custom dimensions around it. Removing the end should be pretty easy, right? Anytime now. I could do that for the next 4 months, or build the world-eating machine of doom. Yep. But before we can run this thing, I need to remove everything other than Endstone, starting with the Enderman farm. Sorry, Bob. And that's all. Wait. Oh my god. Come on. Oh, okay. Please. Oh, I don't have any rockets left. Come on. Okay. Let's not make the same mistake. I just made the same mistake. Okay. Next, the sand duper output. I will have to rebuild it later though, since the center flower is almost entirely made out of glass. Now let's quickly get rid of these end gateways. Guess I'll have to fly all the way to outer end if I need anything. But it's for aesthetics, so it's worth my pain. I said everything other than Endstone? Oh my god. Yeah, this will take a while. Okay, for real this time. This process took over 20 hours, meaning I could watch a full movie for every pillar I mined. Minecraft movie, that is. On a real note, this was absolutely painful and I wouldn't wish that misery to my worst enemy. Not even this Russian guy who steals all of our videos. But finally, the world-eating machine of doom can begin working. Surprisingly, the most difficult part of this section was removing all the floating endstone. Now that we completed the first stage of this project, we can move on to the center flower portal thing. I really need a better name for it. So I bought this 3D model of a lily flower. Using Block Blender, I turned it into Minecraft blocks. And finally, with World Edit, I colored it with yellow glass and glowstone. And for materials, I need 150,000 yellow glass and 8,000 glowstone. There are 3 ways you can get glowstone. Either mining it manually in the nether, trading with a cleric villager, or killing witches. Which one do you think I should pick? That's a terrible idea. Why would you even say that? So I'm gonna try all 3 for an hour to see which one is the fastest. By far, the fastest method was trading with villagers. But we still have to go back to the raid farm to get more emeralds. And after making this guy the Jeff Bezos of villagers, how did you get all this glowstone? Let's not talk about that. We can begin collecting 150,000 yellow glass. First, we need to duplicate the sunflower 10,000 times for all the yellow dye. Luckily, Minecraft doesn't make any sense and all you need to do to dupe a flower is to use bone meal on it. So now we just have to do that until we fill all 12 shulker boxes with yellow dye. Now, glass. The only logical option for collecting 87 shulker boxes of glass is to get all the sand from this sand duper. Therefore, I need to rebuild the output. Now if I run this machine, I can AFK until we have all the sand. And after watching all Minecraft movies and taking down illegal copies of my videos, I was finally done collecting all the sand. But there was a problem. I need to stop doing that. I need to smelt all the sand into glass. I can either use the simple, inefficient, and stupid auto smelter, or build this simple, efficient master's degree smelter hooked up with a carpet duper for fuel, 64 furnaces, a shulker box loader, and a daily lecture on functional analysis. Luckily, the material list is very simple. First, I mined some observers from a nearby cave, strip mined for some carpet, then I used this furnace farm, and the rest I had in my storage, if you can call it that. Massive shout out to Dactus who provided me with this design and also the world-eating machine of doom from earlier in this video. I am truly thankful for his assistance. Now, according to my calculations, using 64 furnaces should take around 7 hours to smelt all of my sand. So, we'll be here for a while. Okay, so I accidentally started the machine, but it seems to be working. Oh, yep, let's go. So it's the next day IRL and we have all the glass. So finally, we have to color it all with yellow dye and we'll be ready to build the flower. Problem alert. We have 89 shulker boxes of items in total and unless I grow 3 times bigger, I won't be able to hold all that, let alone be able to place all these blocks efficiently. But I have an idea. This is a platform. And on that platform, I'm gonna place all the shulker boxes in a chest for the empty ones so I can see the progress clearly, which will help my sanity. I'm always so scared of starting these massive builds. I really wish there was a better solution for storing all the items because going back and forward between the platform and the build was really the worst part of this process. But given how cool this is starting to look, I'm willing to forget the pain and suffering. It's important to mention that this build is inspired by the Fortnite Zero Crisis event, which is also connected to the idea of a multiverse. And that is phase 2 of this project done. What do you think? Now I'm going to build 10 islands from different universes around this flower. Let me explain. This is the Minecraft universe where everything is just as you know it. But at the same time, there are infinite amounts of universes where the story went a little differently. For instance, in this universe, villagers terrified of the warden escaped to the end. They took down the dragon and started living in the empty world of the end dimension. To recreate that vision, I first need to build an Endstone Island. Endstone? Luckily, in the last episode, I miscalculated and obtained a lot more endstone than I needed, which should be enough for this whole project. How many Endermen is that? What? Now I'm going to use endstone bricks as paths between villager houses that we'll place later. Ow, ow, oh my god, this is so annoying. I have two options to prevent endermen from spawning. And if I don't want to lose my mind, I need to do this right now. I can either light up every surface as endermen can't spawn where there's light, or build a simple mob switch. Which one is he gonna pick? Tension is rising. This is a zombie villager, and that's 70 of them. And in that situation, Minecraft considers that too many mobs and doesn't spawn any extra, thus making the end enderman free. Okay, but how do we get 70 villagers here? We don't have a budget for that. I'm gonna start by bringing 2 villagers to the end. Oh my god. Okay, this might be tricky. Okay, now they're in there. Oh, and that's a legit. And now we have a working legit farm. And these two will start a happy family of 70 whether they like it or not. There might be a lot of inbreeding going on, but I'll do anything to fulfill my promises. Now we have to name them all Bob, as that's the only canon name in this series. And now for the fun part. And it doesn't work. As you can see, endermen are still spawning. I just spent 3 days working on this. Do not use name tags on any villagers or zombie villagers. This removes them from the mob cap. What? Oh my god. That's what I get for not watching any tutorials. I did some research, and the only way for it to work is to do it all again. But this time with an improved design. We have a new quad reproduction facility where I hired some of the bobs to work on breeding. Next up, when a baby is born, it's sent to a lobby until it's old enough to get a job. That's because the only way to stop zombie villagers from despawning is to trade with them before they turn into zombies. I wish I knew that earlier. And when the trade is finalized, they are sent to the cube of life. And death. Mostly death. Oh my god, it's so quiet now, I love this. Before we get rid of these breeding chambers, I want to redirect the output so that we get villagers on this island. And in the meantime, we're gonna build this village. Because these guys had taken out the dragon when they got here, it makes sense to build its fossil. Now we're gonna place vines to give it an overgrown effect. I have no idea how that would even grow in the endless void, but I guess it looks better that way. Now we have to steal some of the purple blocks from this end city so we can build houses out of them. First the church, as that's totally the #1 survival necessity. Then the blacksmith for all their mischievous plans. Then a beetroot farm, as that's something found in the end cities. And finally the rest of the village. A fun fact about beetroot is that it has anti-radiation properties, which is very convenient as how proven by Weefies the ender dragon is actually radioactive. Now for the final detail, we're gonna place some flowers. If you're enjoying this video right now, then please remember to subscribe. It means a lot to me and I really appreciate all the support you've given me. I am beyond grateful that I can do this for a living, and that's all thanks to you guys. Thank you for subscribing. And that's the end village complete. Let's go. Yes, I'm gonna build your own dimension. No, not right now. The next island is from one of my favorite aesthetics, the liminal space. First, I built a natural looking island where I put 6 liminal features and maybe one more secret build. Stick around to see that. First, I'm gonna place some oak trees with sea lanterns inside of them, and 1 floating tree for good measure. Now let's build this old swimming pool we all remember, just not exactly know where we remember it from. Now this mysterious door leading nowhere with a path connecting to it. Then I built this gas station from the liminality map. Definitely check it out if you like this style. Then I built a house of this one friend we don't quite remember. These builds don't really make any sense, but that's kind of the point of liminal space. Now I need a whole rainbow of wool, and with the help of these happy volunteers I was able to get it quickly, so I could build this very happy castle. And that's the liminal space island. Where am I? I don't even remember building this. Now we're gonna build the back room. For the floor I need mushroom stems, and now if we place a block on top of it, it turns into this cool creepy texture. What? Anyways, the next island is probably my favorite one. The hardcore YouTube dimension. Imagine if every hardcore video happened in a single world. That's exactly what I want to show with this. This island will start just like the last one, but for the surface, we're gonna do something different. We're gonna split it into 8 sections. Yeah, that whole montage was completely useless. Okay, but with it split, we're gonna make a classic biome pie found on all of these thumbnails. And for every biome, we're gonna build a reference to a different hardcore YouTuber. The first biome being Scavio's Toxic Ocean. In his video, he used basalt to imitate dead land destroyed by the toxic fluid. And for said toxic fluid, he used a combination of green and lime glass for a fading effect you'll see in a second. I actually have to make it pretty deep for the effect to work, but at least I don't have to drain the ocean like Scavio did. Now if we place a layer of green glass and lime glass on top of it and repeat that all the way up, we get this. And finally, I want to place a mini ocean monument on top of the center part, just like that. The next biome is a desert where I put possibly the most iconic hardcore Minecraft build, but you'll have to wait to see it. For now, we'll add cacti and dead bushes. Now for the build, we need emerald blocks only. You might already know where I'm going with this. Luke the Notable is the father of Minecraft 100 Days. He started the trend that got billions of views over the past couple years. And in his most popular series, his main base was an emerald tower. And props to him for obtaining those emeralds through trading instead of the raid farm we all use now. And that's the tower finished. One example of someone starting the hardcore journey with 100 Days videos is Beppo. But easily the most iconic build from him is this rocket. To make it simpler, I'm gonna use white and orange concrete for the main part and smooth stone and black stone for the details. The next biome is a simple forest, but for the build, we're gonna reference a cookie god. For now though, I'm gonna plant some trees and collect the required blocks for the build. So now we can make a cookie god factory. This looks so cool. And the next biome is a deep dark, which shall hold possibly the very reason why this and many other hardcore series even exist. In 2019, Philza died in his hardcore world, losing 5 years of progress because of a baby zombie. Before that, almost no one gave attention to that gamer, but after Phil's death, many YouTubers such as PewDiePie started their own hardcore worlds, hence why you're watching this video right now. In honor of Philza popularizing hardcore mode, we're gonna build the baby zombie rising from the ground like the wood and dust in the deep dark. I'm gonna speedrun the next build, you'll see why in a second. Go. Just don't click the bed. Oh my god, can I do it under 20 seconds? Come on. And that's time, let's go. This is the world's smallest base according to Carves. And it always fascinated me how this house got over 12 million views. But I love his style of videos and his thumbnails are amazing, so I guess that explains it. The second to last biome is Snowy Plains, where I'm gonna build a netherite beacon. Well, not really. Wadzi is one of the most important figures when talking about the history of Minecraft hardcore. He raised the standards of what can be done in this game mode. He spent 6 months gathering ancient debris to power a single beacon. At that time, it was easily the biggest project in hardcore Minecraft, and that's why I want to honor him with this. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do any more than that. I already spent a year building the GTA 5 island in my world. Moving on. The last piece of the pie before we put a cherry on top is a nether biome. But it won't be a regular nether biome, because this one has an entire ocean in it. It might be the world's smallest ocean, but it's an ocean nonetheless. This is obviously referencing Kalani's iconic video where he went back to old versions of Minecraft to put water in the nether. The last build on this island is Sandiction's planet with every biome. Just a very tiny version of it. Every video I'm referencing is absolutely amazing and I recommend you watch all of them after this one. The Spider-Verse dimension. We'll start with a white concrete base. That's because we're gonna recreate Nueva York from last year's Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie. Now we can put grass blocks on the floor. Nueva York had some incredibly tall buildings, but because I don't want any of these islands to distract from the main build, I'm gonna keep them short. But that's more of an excuse. Now I'm gonna add this orange slipstream around the whole island. And finally, a Spider-Man figure swinging on the main building. Yes, okay, I'm gonna build your dimension right now. What do you want it to look like? Yeah, I think I can do that. To make it more vibrant, I'm gonna make the island out of moss blocks. Luckily, I have a moss farm that already had all the moss in it. In the center, we're gonna put a cat statue almost entirely made out of gold blocks. But first, I'm gonna make 2 cat trees. Starting with the smaller one, we need gray and light gray wool and some stripped birch logs. And if we place it like that, boom. Now I can put a little dangling ball. And finally build this cat playing with it. That is the cutest thing I've ever built. What do you think? What? For the bigger cat tree, we need birch planks and magenta concrete. And now if we put these 2 cats inside, that's the second cat tree finished. Now let's quickly build this roller treadmill. Unfortunately, it doesn't work. I tested. Now I'm gonna place this box as cats absolutely love boxes. Then this tunnel with a lying cat inside. And finally, before the statue, I'm gonna build these 2 bowls. The first one with water and the second one with cat food. That is the official cat food block if you didn't know. And for the statue, we need 300 blocks of gold, an equivalent of 2% of all of gold ever mined by humans, thanks to Mumbo for this statistic, a stack of emerald blocks, 2 redstone blocks, and 2 diamond blocks. And that is your new home. Everything Everywhere All at Once is my favorite movie about the multiverse. It shows how even the smallest decisions create completely different versions of the main character. In the movie, the protagonist created the Bagel Palace as the center of the multiverse, so we're gonna recreate that. For that, I need almost every white block in the game. First, 7,000 quartz blocks. So I split myself in half. again. And while AFKing the piglin farm for quartz, I collected diorite, then white concrete, and when the quartz was done, I went to the end to collect 44 end rods. And at the same time, I gathered all the wool for 13 stacks of white banners, meaning I could merge together and go build that island, which starts with a quartz base. Luckily, when putting all the islands together in creative, I accidentally cut off the bottom half of this build, but in hindsight, it was probably better that I didn't have to collect 5 times the amount of quartz. But with even more quartz, I'm gonna build these identical buildings on both sides of the island. Now I have to place a banner in every window because that looks way better. Now using end rods and even more quartz, I'm gonna build these 2 rows of lanterns. Now this podium, and finally the bagel itself with black concrete, sea lanterns, and black stone buttons. And that's 6 out of 10 islands done. In a world.
You and I have done things that are just as bad.
DEA fights the cartel with nukes.
These are my guys, and they are solid.
This summer.
We've got work to do.
How many more people are gonna die because of us?
When you have the opportunity, be ready.
So I built the island already since it's all sandstone, but now I have to execute one of my funniest ideas. The plan is simple. I'm gonna place these cacti around the center, then we'll build an RV from Breaking Bad, and a massive explosion behind it as the ultimate New Mexico collaboration. Let's first build the RV. If you didn't know, both Oppenheimer and Breaking Bad happen in New Mexico, and when the portal opened in the center, it combined these 2 worlds, creating the show from my dreams. And look, the inside of the RV is also decorated based on the show. For the explosion, we need shroomlight because on its own, it already kinda looks like an explosion. Now let's look at some pictures of explosions. Okay. The build will start with a cone type shape. Here we'll have these fireballs coming from all 4 sides, and finally, the classic mushroom shape on top. Now for the hard part. You see the circle wave thing? I know my science vocabulary is amazing.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I want to build that circle thing. And I think it only makes sense to build it out of cobwebs. So let's quickly collect that. It wasn't very quick actually. But nonetheless, we can now build this wave thing. What is your favorite movie, Mr. Catty Cat? Do you want to build an island based on that movie? But you don't even have materials to build it. Here you go. I don't know how you're gonna do this, but good luck. Okay, let me take over from here. This is Man's Planet from Interstellar, the one from the movie poster. The cat built this beautiful frozen island, but now I want to decorate it. First, I'm gonna build this little bunker, and next to it a tall American flag so that aliens know it's best to stay away. Now these lights for landing, and this parked ship. And as the final detail, we're gonna spawn an iron golem to act as tars. Where are you going? Island number 9 will be a bit tricky, as it will use a lot of blocks that I don't have access to just yet. This is Coraline, possibly the first movie I've seen that touches the subject of the multiverse. It shows an alternative reality where everything is seemingly perfect. For instance, the garden, where the main part is shaped around Coraline's face. Before we build that though, I want to bone meal the ground and place bushes around the whole island. For said bushes, I need flowering azalea leaves. So I grew a bunch of azalea trees and collected the flowering leaves, meaning I could place it on the island. I also added frog light inside these bushes so that it glows at night. Here we will build Coraline's beautiful pink house, but we don't have the materials for it yet, so I'll finish the garden first. I'm gonna use flowering azalea saplings as the floor for the face-shaped garden, cherry leaves for her mouth and eyes, and red concrete to make her blush. Now rose bushes for her eyebrows and cornflowers for the first layer of her hair. Now I want to outline said hair with the pitcher plant. What is the pitcher plant? I'm not glad you asked. This is a sniffer, and its main purpose is to sniff the ground for things that aren't there. I know, very fulfilling. But one of the things it can sniff out is a pitcher pod, which when planted grows to become this beautiful flower called the pitcher plant. But problem alert, we don't have any sniffers. Because sniffers can dig out the pitcher pod from mud, we're gonna use it in the collection system, as that will also mean we'll be able to collect the drops with a hopper minecart. That is the cutest prison I've ever seen. But now I actually need to find sniffer eggs, and apparently they can only be found in suspicious sand and warm ocean ruins, so we'll go test that. For that I need to craft a brush for the first time ever, and I think that's the right structure. Oh, and that's the first egg. Now we just need a second one. Let's go. So now I just have to place the eggs. Alright, perfect. Now I'll bury myself alive for 30 days and we'll see how many pitcher pods we'll have when I'm back. Okay, it's working, but with only 2 sniffers, it will take roughly 12 more hours. Alright, now I just have to plant it. Why does that look so weird? Can you use bone meal on it? Yes, let's go. Call me if you get lost, but this is easily the prettiest flower in Minecraft. Now we can finally outline her hair. Now for the house, I found this cool design on Planet Minecraft. And after switching the pink concrete to cherry planks, it was perfect. Here I have all the materials except for cherry wood. So I went to 1.20 chunks and chopped down this beautiful grove. So now all that's left is to build this gorgeous house, which is actually perfectly accurate to the movie. So I just followed the schematic. And that's the whole island done, meaning we can move on to the last one, which I called the Corrupt Land. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with politics. When the last island was brought here, the portal was already closing, which corrupted the structures in it. Here's the plan. We're gonna build an Endstone Island with some parts missing. And here on top, I'll place a couple Minecraft structures that I'll later cover with colorful concrete, glass, and frog light to create the glitch effect for a simulated file corruption. Before we build the structures, I'm gonna collect the glitch blocks, meaning we need red, magenta, pink, yellow, and blue dyes for glass and concrete. And finally some frog light, so I turned myself into a frog and quickly gathered the remaining blocks. So now I can finish the base of the island with the glitch effect. And we also have all the blocks to corrupt the upcoming structures. The first one being the villager house. I hope the villager doesn't mind it. And now we can build it on my island. Next up we have the shipwreck and the desert temple. For the jungle pyramid, we have to take some of this mossy cobblestone. That's the whole jungle pyramid mined down, so we can dive straight into building it. And now all that's left in this whole 3-month-long project are these last two structures. First the nether fortress, and finally the end ship in the sky.